Welcome back to another episode. What we're going to talk about today is the Michigan State game. Beat little brother again for the third year in a row, if I'm not mistaken. 31 to 20, fourth year in a row. Okay. Yeah, 31 to 20. Kind of hate that they got the little touchdown at the end. 31-32, a little nicer, but nonetheless, went in there, dominated the game overall on the ground. Solid victory there. Talk about the next matchup against Purdue as they continue to just wouldn't say right the ship, but just continue to clean things up and just gain momentum as they go into the last quarter of the season. Then we'll talk about the Lions, fresh off a bye week, much needed. Got some guys back. Brian Branch back from suspension. They got JJ McCarthy coming back to town with the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. So yeah, looking forward to watching them at that 1 o'clock slot as well for the first time in probably like what a
Yes,
month
yes.
almost. I'm pretty sure it's one
Oh,
o'clock.
wow, it's a good stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah. No, I'll kick it over to you. Each want to see your thoughts on. We'll start at with Michigan State, and how you thought the game went, and go from there.
For sure. No, I said on last week's podcast that when state is in that world that they're in now, I almost feel like that's their most dangerous when they are have nothing to play for, and they love to be spoilers, and the fans don't really even seem into it, and so all that actually kind of made me slightly anxious, I should say. But then heading into the game, getting that fumble right off rip, kind of get an opportunity to steal a possession there, getting the field goal out of it, 10-0, kind of let them get back into it with really the biggest lapse of the whole defense. The whole defense today was on when it was 10-0. They had the ball, and then I think we let them bust out like a 47 or 49-yard run, kind of let them give it a little bit of life, get a little bit of momentum into that. It
Yeah,
still was a slugfest for them to get in there. I feel like they try to kill that old their quarterback with the QB sneaks. Um, Legit, probably the most QB sneaks I've ever seen in a game. I think he had like 7. um, but all that being said, we kind of weathered the storm, handled their punches. We didn't have the most best clean game of our own front. And we still found a way to kind of handle it. Score a little bit misleading. Like you said, it really easily could have really was 31-13. They were
hmm
dead in the water the whole game. They kind of got that touchdown with the backup quarterback, a lot of our backups in. But I would say overall, just a very solid dub. Do I want to go on there and see a 44-0? Yes. Do I want to see Bryce throw for 100, not 100, 200, couple touchdowns every day of the week? I do. But I think when you run the ball, I think I heard we had only 2 passing plays in the whole second half,
hmm
or something very minimal like that. And so when you put that much emphasis on the run, just because they can't stop you, that's a demoralizing run. As you've seen near the end of the game, we were getting gaping holes, and Jordan Marshall was running down the field. If it would have been another quarter, we would have had another 200 rushing yards. I think we were quickly gaining momentum on how bad we were beating them up on the run. So that to say,
Yeah,
got it done, and you live to fight to see another day, and and then Sparty's kind of in a bad place. That's the whole another point. They just seemed dysfunctional, disorganized.
yeah. They got like over 100 penalty yards, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
So
A lot of
we
like
kind of imposed our
four
will on that way.
unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, four of them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean yeah. I think overall, for Michigan, just not a clean game, but I think it was just a good culture win. You know, I think Bryce I think did a decent job. I think week to week, I think he's just making strides, even though it doesn't always show up in the box score. I think he did a pretty good job of just managing the game. You know, you know, knowing going in there, we knew that they were gonna be giving up 4.5 yards of carry, so we were gonna run the ball. I like how he's been able to just kind of like, I think this is like the second time he's kind of broke open the game with a run like, like running like a QB run or like a design run. So that's been something good just to see that just really coming to fruition. Um, and I feel like, yeah, we're able to get in there, play some tough defense. Roller played a great game. They're doing a good job of, getting a hand on the ball, getting turnovers. I think they at least got like one a
Mhm.
game, 1 to 2 a game. Um, yeah, so it wasn't the prettiest. You still got some drops here and there. Got some guys lining up on like way over the line of scrimmage. Just some, some tackling, not great here and there still, but they did what they needed to get done. In Michigan fashion.
Yeah, no, I want to speak on just the not pretty for a second here. So you mentioned the missed tackles, lining up offsides with your Klein, like blatantly offsides, drop passes from Simons Morgan, and others, I should say. And then the thing I haven't seen many people talk about, I guess on Twitter a little bit, but the punt return, kick return, just blatant mishaps, just leaving probably in the worst case scenario 20, 15, 20 yards on one of those punt returns. Um, After they got their touchdown and the unsportsmanlike conduct, we had a 15-yard buffer on the end of the kickoff, and we still chose to fair catch it. And I think we fair caught on it to 10 with 20, 15 yards of free running in. So I think those are the minor things that yeah, you can beat up on State doing that, Purdue doing that, Northwestern doing that,
Yeah.
probably in a closer game versus Maryland doing that. You do that shit versus Ohio, you're not going to be happy on the way home. You need to play perfectly pinpoint, accurate games from top to bottom as far as penalties, not lining up sides, not missed tackles, not if you're Samans Morgan, not running in your running back's running lane and not blocking anybody, not just the little things that you can look back and say, those all don't really matter too much. We still won by this much when the margin of victory could be that much better, or in versus a better opponent that it might not be a victory at all. So I think those are the things that I kind of this bonehead things that just didn't make a lot of sense to me as far as those punt return, kick return. Um,
That's stuff they even struggle with when like punt return, especially even struggled with when like Harbaugh was there. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, just guys back there just I mean, I don't know. Like I think yeah, yeah, that is something that's just definitely been like an Achilles heel and then I think the punting has been even more so
even
like, oh my goodness, not flipping the field how they used to.
yes,
Um, that's stuff that yeah, you would hope that they're able to start to correct and clean up in these next few weeks. Because, like you said, you can do it, you can get away with it against some of these inferior teams, but that field position get real, just real important
yeah. I mean, yeah,
with the bigger games.
you give the ball up. I mean, many of our punts we're on the 30, we're punting it, and the other team's getting it close to the after the kick return and everything, getting it on the 40, on the 38. I mean, we're flipping the field like 22 yards net. Like it's it's practically not worth it at that point to even do that.
Mhm.
I still think we should send a defense out there, but you're making it really not worth it.
Yeah,
One of those things where don't
that's
let Dan
true.
Campbell do that. He might not never punt the rest of the season. So we we have to just things we really need to clean up if we're going to try to make those next strides and really hit our peak. We haven't hit our peak yet, and these are the things we do to hit our peak. I On the read options, Bright should keep it more. I think that's something that help us hit our peak. Punt return, kick return. It's really solidifying the first, second, third receivers. Smosh Morgan might not be it, even though I think nobody's calculating is he's been probably him and Fred Moore were the two guys that were kind of our Percy Harvin-ish guy, for lack of a better term. And I don't really know who else they think could do that on the team. I'm sure Marsh could probably do it, but he probably hasn't had a lot of snaps at some of that. You
Yeah,
know, I'm not even sure he would call it, but the motion we're sending Mons Morgan in from the slide into the backfield, from the backfield try now. I think we have to really train up some other guys to really do that. And I think that's probably what they're actively doing to redefine that position. And the last thing I'll say is maybe we got to get some of these young tight ends back out there. The Marshall, the other guy, I'm blanking on his name, but Klein,
Tinelli.
yeah, Tonelli, Marshall. Maybe it's 1-2 combo from them because Klein is just average right about now. He
Yeah, it start. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think there's like there's some guys that are just kind of getting playing because they're upperclassmen or like captains that you really. I mean, there's some guys that kind of waiting their turn and might just be trying to kind of let some of these guys loose and just see what they can add.
Yeah.
um, to the equation when it comes, especially to the offense, where the pass game is, lacking a little bit. I mean, it's been really up and down. Bryce went literally from like 240 yards one game to like 85 the next, like 250 to like right
Yes.
around
Major.
90, 87, 90. So it's yeah. But I don't know, me. I do like, how they're able to, me. I think the run game, it was solid. I think you continue to build off of that. This is starting to kind of still just feel like that 2021 team where, the pass game was just ugly. Or it was inconsistent. It wasn't ugly, it's inconsistent. And it was inconsistent and it was like like they were able to do just enough, but that running game was really what they hung their hat on. We just hope that they can, the defense and special teams just kind of clean things up a little bit. Because I think if they're able to, you know, you do feel good about them being able to punch a ticket to that playoff. If they're able to get the defense figured out and play, well, I just say this overall, play complementary football a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's you're speaking right on the complimentary football, but also if I were to tell you we would have 300 rushing yards and 100 passing yards in the Ohio game, would you feel like we were in that game and got blown? I feel like anytime you
Yeah,
have 300 passing yards, you're probably in that game. You're
yeah,
probably assuming the 100 passing yards is a clean game, not a bunch of picks, no, whatever. If you have a clean
hmm
passing game, hovering around 50%
oh
and
yeah,
300 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, you're
yeah.
in a lot of fucking games. And I think,
Yeah, it feels like the offense. It's like a ugly comfortability that we have with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, but like we also watched Cade McNamara throw for 85, 90 yards like three or four times that. See, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and you don't want to get into the weeds of this, but I mean, how many you try to say two pass interference calls? I mean, I think of the one where McCauley's going down the
oh
sideline with
yeah,
your mask. That's probably a 15, 17-yard gain right there. I think there was one more in there. So I mean, even if you get one or two of those, I mean, you're up in the
you
130
flip the
passing.
flip the field.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
starts to look more healthy. So, um, do we want more production from him from a passing standpoint? Yes. But at the end of the day, I think it's coming along well. And if we're having 300 rushing yards, something's got to break
right.
as far as that goes. So, it, yeah, I'm feeling okay about it. I do. I think, and we've seen glimpses of it, so I know it's there. It's it's not like we've been having 86 across the board all season. We've had
Right.
some pushing 300. It's a couple.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's looked good. I mean, I think, and I don't know. I think there are times too where it's like, I think we said on here a couple of times. We're that close to where Samaj catches three out of those five drops. He might house a couple.
Mm,
Some of these guys are just dropping. Some of these passes here and there. Like those plays are made. His stats look immensely better. His completion percentage is a
mm.
lot higher. Not that we're sitting here just like box score watching, but I just think like from an efficiency standpoint for the offense, I don't think they're all that far off, and I think that's just a good problem to have as we get into the last quarter of the season. With that game after November around the corner, or excuse me, after Thanksgiving around the corner.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what we're looking forward to. Just keep marching towards that. But no, overall, man, anytime you can beat up state in state, it's and I've been seeing them calling it East Landfill, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good one.
but no,
That's a good one.
I think fast forward, uh,
Purdue,
yeah, Purdue.
7 o'clock game. We got Purdue. We got to wait till 7 o'clock at night to watch Purdue play.
Why would they do that to us? Well, but I don't know. Yeah, we don't got to talk about this one. I hope knock on wood for us. I think this should be pretty much run of the mill. I want to see another pushing 300 yards passing or rushing.
Yeah,
Um, I think now is the time where maybe you do try to get him back into that 200 just to get the reps. As far as Bryce goes with passing, just get the reps, get the familiarity of it all, um, and just get in there, get out, stay healthy, and keep marching along. I think that's the rules for the next couple of weeks here.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think I'm looking at Purdue. They're 2-6.
Mm,
I'm sure they'll come out feisty. really, I can't. You know what? We can probably just talk about this more instead. I can't even tell you the last time I've seen Michigan play at Purdue.
Yeah.
What, like maybe 2016?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been. I can't either, to be honest.
Like I feel like they're just like you guys come here, and Michigan's like no.
No, no.
Those went there multiple
um,
times before Michigan has.
no, that's a great point. I think this one again, Purdue is just in like the bottom of the dumps. Um,
Yeah.
and it's crazy that this is the team that we were forced to play in the Big Ten championship a couple of years ago.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I don't know how that happened.
yeah, just
Oh,
the
just like the Big Ten West was just so bad.
discrepancies of the divisions.
Yeah, I forgot about
Um,
that. Yeah.
but no, yeah, we were forced to play them in there, and they, um, but no, in general, I think this is more of a game where it has much more to do with us. Just that was when I think you build upon it all. Clean game, really try to figure out who you want to be and what you can. How can you impose your will on teams? I think we and just kind of really find your stride. I think this is when you have games to hopefully begin to try to hit your peak. And I know we don't got to talk about this too much more because I think we both are probably in a similar ballpark as far as how this should go. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, even yeah, I mean, I guess if ever would you want to call it a road game, another road game for us in the Big Ten, you can never fully uh laugh at. But no, it's just yeah, I don't know, man. Can we fast forward to November? Can we fast forward? Can we fast forward?
Yeah, we'll be yeah, we'll be there Saturday. But yeah, no, I guess we can just kind of jump out the window with a score prediction. I'm looking there a 21 point Michigan a 21 point favorite. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say I don't know, I'm gonna do a 35 to mm, I'll do 33 to 14.
Okay.
33 to 13.
I'm gonna go 38-10.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anywhere, any of that, I think we win there and handle. Got our did what we had to do. Get in, get out, stay healthy. that's the
No,
that's the name of the game
in the
now.
game. Yeah, that's the goal. Through the rest of the season. Hopefully, yeah, missing some guys on defense or got some guys injured on defense. Hopefully, Haynes not too serious of an injury. They were hearing about him. Don't know what it is exact or yeah, not totally sure what it is exactly, but yeah, it's time for some of these guys. Jordan Marshall step up, and he's been doing so. Last couple games that Marshall had or that last game Marshall hadn't played. So, but yeah, no, we'll turn the page here. Gonna talk about our Detroit Lions as they're coming off of a bye week. We got the Vikings coming to town. Got JJ McCarthy coming back to town, fresh off of a high ankle sprain. Hasn't played since like week two. We always say root for JJ against everybody except for the Lions. Won't lie to you, it's a pretty tough spot for him to be in. His first game back. Um, so yeah, what are your thoughts on what we expect, look for? What we got what JJ got in store for him?
No, I think I guess confirming. This is a home game for us, right? Home game.
Yeah,
You're still glitching, so I can't. Okay, yes, I want to confirm that. But no, I think that this is a very tough spot for JJ to come out. As far as from their perspective, from his perspective, and from our perspective, something we can pounce on. I think we don't have to talk about it too much, but Hutch getting paid, he's probably juiced up a little bit. He's gonna want to come out there and make a name for
yeah,
himself. A player that he's never had an opportunity to probably really put his hands on. Now he finally does get his paws on him. All things that I think we can utilize. You mentioned via text earlier, read a couple articles, just how beat up their offense is in general. Kind of night and day of what we thought or what they were last year. I mean, think about coming down to the wire of 15-2 and 14-3 or whatever, however it worked out last year. And to fast forward to this, just kind of splitting in the water. I think now's the time to kind of pounce on them. Go ahead and seal up another division victory and just
yeah,
play, just kind of stack those wins in that column. You kind of see the beginning of how the pitcher's working out a little bit. Maybe And this will really help solidify that as well, as far as like we are who we everybody thinks they are. Maybe Green Bay was that first game a fluke. The Bears, we kind of jumped on them. They're kind of maybe better, maybe not. So I think this really kind of helps solidify all that as well. It just coming off that bye week, I can't imagine that we won't be overly prepared as far as game plan, players rested. I've seen all the videos of players golfing and going back to their colleges and all the shit. So they're gonna be ready to go.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're gonna be chomping at the bit. Um, I think the bye week came at a perfect time, getting Brian Branch back. I mean, I expect a monster game from him. Um, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be curious too. I mean, I know obviously we're talking about our Lions, but how JJ gonna show up? I'm gonna see what he's got, what O'Connell's able to kind of do to, you know, I mean, I think he'll be able to run the offense pretty well, but I'll just be kind of curious to see what it looks like after him being out for so long. But I think, yeah, they're going to come out hopefully to see that we're able to improve a bit more on offense, on third downs. I think that'd be huge. Because I think really the only thing the last few weeks, even when we've been sputtering a little bit on offense here and there, has been beating ourselves. So I think some of this stuff is just very correctable. I think this will just be an opportunity to, like you said, to stack another division win. And then, yeah, really start to hunker down here as we get into the thick of the season. Starting to get to that halfway mark. I think, yeah, this would be a good opportunity to start the next quarter of the season off on a good foot.
Yeah, no, I know we've spoke so much about just kind of breaking this season up into quarters, and I think both of us, if we had to probably do it now, that's probably be interesting. But if we had to go back and redo our win totals, would we adjust them? I would.
Mhm.
I would definitely have to advise up. I think I said like 10, maybe 11. I think I was kind of on the lighter end of the win total.
Yeah,
Uh,
now it's like 12 to 13, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Looking at how it's kind of some of those some of the very fearful games we've already gotten past and weren't so bad. Players are getting injured and knocked out. I mean, that's the name of the game in NBA, NFL. But you look at it this. Um, you got the Vikings here, Commanders, and then Eagles. So I think how long is Jay Daniels out? He'll still be out that game probably, right? Um,
I think he might be questionable for this week,
okay. So
but
obviously you don't want to overlook the Vikings, but you got the Vikings, and then after that, you're on the road to Commanders. You're on the road to the Eagles. So I think then you finish up Giants and then Thanksgiving. So I think this little stretch here, you got to get out of here pretty sound, pretty good. And I would love to start that with a division win here. Um, Commanders, I'm sure, are going to be coming with Jane Daniels ready to kind of make up for what they lost over the last couple of weeks. The Eagles are who the Eagles are. And I think you
and then that
separate,
too
you get this, that'd be 7 wins, 8 wins. You go into the Eagles 9-2. That's you're looking at a potential
for the one
deep
seed
pre-playoff. Yeah, the one seed slash maybe potential January going to go to
rematch.
a Super Bowl type game. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think man, we are in just a prime, perfect spot. Like you said, couldn't ask for a better start to the season. We weathered the storm through, all these prime time games, had the Ravens on Monday night. Had to go play the Chiefs on Sunday night, Bucks Monday Night Football, we had back-to-back prime time games. 5-2. And I think this is off to a great start. I think and I think we're gonna as we get to a score prediction here in a little bit. Feel like we're gonna be good spot and good position to not only get a division win, but start to stack some of these games against these other divisions we got to play that our other NFC teams have to play, like the Bears already lost to the Ravens.
yep,
We'll have that tiebreaker with the Packers, losing to the Packers losing to the Browns.
yep,
Um,
yep.
so yeah, in a good spot.
for
get the
sure.
momentum going. I anticipate having Golf having a good game. He always plays pretty well against the Vikings. I had a tough game to end the season last year against them, but when they were in Minnesota, he was lighting them up early on in the season. I expect that our defense is going to be a lot healthier. Obviously, you already said it, different quarterback, for them at the helm than there were this time last year. So yeah, we'll see how things go down. Um, what do you think is a score prediction?
Yeah. I hate to do this to our man JJ. I kind of think this has the potential to get ugly on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I guess I'll just be honest. I love JJ, but I think we've seen hot and cold of what he could be in that first. I mean, really, he's had a great quarter of his career so far. Like as far as like a one
Yeah.
single quarter where he lit him up. Outside of that quarter, he looks very not quite ready yet.
Hmm.
For that to be your sample size, be hurt, sit on the bench for 6 weeks, come back to the Lions den versus Hutch, who just got a blank check. Brian Brandt's ready to knock somebody's head off. Crowd ready. Half the crowd is either an ex fan of you or probably hate your guts from college. I think that is it's a little bit working against us. So I say all that to say I think I'm looking. Let me say 30. Let's say I kind of want to go crazy on you, but let me go like let me go like 38-20. 30.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say like 33 to 17.
Yeah. I kind of want
Yeah,
to leave even nasty like a 45-13 or someone, give you like a
yeah, I
but
feel like
yeah,
they'll be able to like do a little something, maybe
yeah,
the secondary still just being a little bent, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, we still won't have, or like we talked about last week, just all the injuries in the secondary. Still not gonna really have a whole lot of guys back except for just Brian Branch, really. And they got Justin Jefferson, whereas the Bucks didn't have Mike Evans, Godwin, all these other guys. So they might be able to get up and down the field a little bit with him and JJ and Addison. But I do think, you know, score once or twice. But I think overall the Lions will just be too much for them, like it's
yeah,
overwhelming. It won't
for
be
sure,
any,
for
like
sure.
they won't get a shoot like going to get in a shootout with them. They'll just start
Yeah, no,
stacking.
and they can't handle the shootout. And I think you're right. I think they have with Justin Jefferson and JJ and other. You
Yeah.
got you got the ability. You're one play away to put some points on the board. So I think all that's true. But yeah, man, I think we're just in a prime spot, and I think we coming off that bye week. I think we'll just be cooking. So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, most
no,
definitely.
5-2, marching. Um, yeah, I mean we're in a pretty good spot in both cases as far as Michigan football, Lions football.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm just now that it's getting cold, getting dark. Now the football's the real football's here.
Good things. Yeah. We're in the swing of things. This is where, yeah, a lot of these teams start to separate themselves, start to
Hmm.
see trade deadline around the corner, teams starting to sell, start to tank, whatever you want to call it.